Christmas Eve at 8 on 9.
The average Australian property buyer spends slightly less than a year searching before buying for one. Here are 3 ways to shave down the time and reduce the stress of your property search. First, create 3 lists: needs, wants, and deal breakers. Defining your must-haves versus nice-to-haves will help refine your search criteria and will save you time. Next, spend time pre-inspecting. Study floor plans carefully and make the most of virtual tours to get a sense of how a property flows. Consult your 3 lists at this stage to avoid disappointment at inspection. Finally, get ahead of the competition by setting up alerts of off-market properties on Domain. Off-market properties are ones that aren't publicly advertised, putting you ahead of the competition. Remember, your search isn't just limited to listed homes. See off-market properties before other buyers on the Domain app.
We could all use a boost to our budgets right now, and you'll find heaps of ways to save with the New South Wales Government's Cost of Living program. There's savings for busy kid wranglers, happy day trippers, and foodies. You could save an average of $590 a year. To find out how, visit the Service New South Wales website and give your budget a boost. Dry damage tear has you down? Try new Schwarzkopf Ultimate Repair 7 Seconds treatment from Chemist Warehouse. Made with liquid keratin and pearl extract, the unique treatment intensely repairs hair in just 7 seconds for shiny hair with up to 90% less breakage. New Schwarzkopf Ultimate Repair 7 Seconds treatment is $8.49 at Chemist Warehouse. Explore the entire range from the #1 hair treatment brand. Live, look, feel fabulous every day at Chemist Warehouse.
At Optus, we understand how important it is for you to stay connected. That's why we now cover more of Australia than ever before. It starts with yes.
At Harvey Norman, Christmas gift ideas for everyone. Tefal Easy Fry and Grill Classic Air Fryer, just $199. Sonos Roam Portable Smart Speaker, $279. Save $50 on the Homedic Shiatsu Massage Seat with heat option. For a close shave, the Philips Prestige 9000 shaver with bonus $100 cashback. Plus, get 60 months interest-free, no deposit, no interest from Latitude with 60 approximately equal monthly payments and receive a bonus gift card up to $1,000. Now at Harvey Norman.
Jim Carrey is starring in the festive family favourite How to Win Yourself Christmas tonight on 9Go. This program brought to you by Bedsheets. Value and quality direct to you.
Hello, Gavin Morris with an NBN News update. More than 5,700 new COVID cases in New South Wales, 976 of them in Hunter, New England. Tonight, the Premier's pushed to roll out free rapid tests. The new pill to treat COVID that's been given the green light in the United States. Booster mission, the plan to administer 2 million jabs a week to battle the new Omicron variant surge. Australian scientists solve a crucial mystery surrounding Parkinson's disease that could help fast-track treatments. And the heartwarming moment, these rehabilitated sea turtles are released back into the ocean at Ballina. For all these stories and more, watch NBN News tonight at 6.
Tree of Joy, gifts from the heart. How it brings Christmas cheer to those who need it most. A current affair tonight.
On 9.
She can't cry out for freedom or for the pain to end. She can't beg them to stop this endless cruelty. Animals have suffered for years at the hands of humans.
That's because
Now they're suffering
animal cruelty
due to a crisis caused by
needs to
humans.
stop.
Now
Animal
the crows are
cruelty
gone.
needs to stop forever
They face even more neglect
by
and
protecting
abuse.
more animals
If you love
in our
animals,
homes
please
for
help
good.
end their suffering. Make some noise. Call 1-800-940-660 and become an animal protector for just $5 a month. Please be their
Go
voice.
to animalprotector.org.au as
She
well.
needs you to stop the nightmare now,
Absolutely.
more than ever.
Don't let them suffer in silence. Become an animal protector.
The set can leave a lasting impression, and this one is only $95.
Not a Guinness warehouse, it's not.
This Christmas, grab a bargain with Giorgio Armani Aqua Joe for men 100ml, $109.99. Or Yves Saint Laurent Opium Black 90ml, $149.99. For the biggest range of big brand fragrances, shop at Chemist Warehouse and stop paying too much.
Hungry Jack's new warhead sour bursties in frozen drinks. Take the ultimate sour challenge with exploding bursty flavour sensation. Choose sour apple or sour watermelon. Survive the sour. New $2 warheads bursties only at Hungry Jack's.
Now at Domain, create your outdoor living space with the latest in designer outdoor lounges and dining furniture. Versatile options to suit every style and every space. Complete your look with our gorgeous range of accessories, including Australian-made outdoor cushions customized to suit your style. And the latest range in barbecues. Plus, get 60 months interest-free, no deposit, no interest from Latitude with 60 approximately equal monthly payments and receive a bonus gift card up to $1,000. Now at Domain.
Have a merry cherry Christmas with fresh, juicy 100% Australian cherries. Just $13.90 a kilo. That's Christmas from Woolworths.
The fresh food people.
Miss Congeniality is back. You could be the new face of the FBI. She's overdressed.
8:30 tonight.
You don't see that.
And out of control. Sandra Bullock is Miss Congeniality 2. Tonight, 8:30 on 9.
In the news tonight, restrictions return. Indoor mask wearing and the 2 square metre rule back in place until the end of January. The hunt hits a new COVID record, 976 fresh infections. And Parkinson's mystery cracked by Australian scientists, how it could fast-track treatments. Those stories and more tonight at 6.
I really want my house to be seen from space.
How bad could it be?
Light up your Christmas with a festive family
Christmas
favourite.
Day at 7 o'clock. Get ready. Deck the halls. 7 o'clock, Christmas Day on 9.
Unity Mart Furniture, our Boxing Day sale is on now. Save up to 50% off a huge range like living, dining, bedroom and more. So, what are you waiting for? Mart Furniture, stores open till 8 p.m.
If you've been awake for 17 hours or more, the effect on your driving is similar to having a blood alcohol content of 0.05. So remember to get a good night's sleep before your next drive, and don't trust your tired self.
Ooh, Big Mac bacon.
Absolutely.
Who knew? Crispy, salty bacon. And a Big Mac with lashings of special sauce could work so well together. That was a rhetorical question.
From McDonald's.
This is it. More noise,
The
more
Ashes.
history, more pressure.
Let's hope that Australia beats England right throughout the Ashes. January 5 to 9 at the SCG.
December. Now it's your very last chance to get the very best price on Sunboost's new Summer Saver system. Just 48.1 one last time. Call 1300 Sunboost. Sale ends December 31.
Call this number before it's too late.
It's the #1 hit this Christmas. Succulent Aussie half-leg hams are only $8.49 per kilo.
At
You
Aldi.
can't overcook Christmas. Aldi, good, different.
Good different.
Giving is everything this Christmas at Wallace Bishop. Looking for that perfect gift?
Wallace
Treat him
Bishop
this
has
classy
watches
Seiko watch for
$495.
Suit up with this standout black Casio G-Shock watch, now only
$179.
Or for someone truly special, this
From
stunning
$189.
watch is only $189. Give the gift of love this Christmas.
From Wallace
Wallace
Bishop. Since 1917.
what we know best, which is tiles.
Tile
Enjoy seeing the
Warehouse
smoothly faces of the tiles and builders.
is Lake Macquarie's best.
Jeff Comforts with us.
They trust the advice we
and
give
is
you.
based at Warners Bay.
We're a local company. We rely on repeat business. We live just down the road. We really do care about our customers and their experience.
Make sure you head off there now. Tiles Warehouse, Hillsborough Road, Warners Bay.
This is what all of Australia's been looking forward to.
The Australian Open is coming tonight.
We are ready to go.
Australia.
Just listen to the crowd.
As our tennis players get ready to strike on.
Is this the year for Aussie glory?
It certainly will be. 9 is the official partner. Now, here's an NBN News sports promo.
This year on NBN News, no one covers local, national and international events better than our team of dedicated journalists. NBN News, your #1 news service in northern New South Wales. Live tonight at 6 p.m.
Right here on NBN.
It's an amazing place and we'll show you the best of it. Magnificence will run a tingle right down
7:30 tonight.
most exotic locations
You are going to love my next adventure.
to our own backyard.
I love it.
Great getaways tonight 7:30 on 9.
At Hungry Jack's, Jack's Cafe now has caramel fudge iced coffee.
And also
Barista-made,
barista
rich and
coffee.
velvety smooth with delicious caramel fudge sauce. Pick up Jack's Cafe iced drinks and your 5th cup's free with Hungry Jack's app rewards.
Come on. Yes, come on.
Oh, hi!
I love Cat Price Servicing.
From Toyota,
Free service.
that is.
One low price. And it came with a Toyota. Keep your Toyota running smoothly. Contact your local dealer to book a service today. Oh, what a feeling.
Toyota. The NRL starts at Combank Stadium in Sydney in February next year, when the Indigenous All-Stars take on against the Maori All-Stars, with both the men and women playing against each other. Will the Indigenous have another win next year? For every sister.
Discover meaningful gifts for every story.
For every story at Pandora.
4 out of 5 people who are blind don't need to be. A simple $25 surgery can restore sight. Please donate today to help carry on Fred's vision.
Every eye is an eye.
It's value the Australian way this Christmas with Coles
At
free
Coles.
range turkey cushion with couscous, cranberry and apple stuffing. RSPCA approved and just $40 a kilo.
What a great way to do turkey.
Only at Coles.
They the Australian one.
Could you afford vet bills like these? With PD Pet Insurance, you can comprehensively insure your pet for less than $2 a day. Go to pd.com.au and buy online to get your first month free. PD Pet Insurance for great pet parents.
Everyone knows Australia has 4 big banks, but there's another big bank snapping at their heels.
That's right.
5.9 million customers, it's regularly voted one of Australia's most trusted brands. Welcome to Bendigo Bank.
It's Bendigo Bank. On today.
Your feel-good moments of 2021, and yes, folks, there are some. We've got special
Feel-good moments.
and he's got your list, and he's checking in
Santa's coming.
Tell the kids we're on from 5:30.
Christmas Eve tomorrow. 9. We love it. Now, here's an NBN News Newcastle update with Gavin Morris.
Tonight on NBN News, the Hunter hits a new COVID record, 976 fresh infections. The mad Christmas rush for Newcastle's finest seafood. And last dash to save GP access after-hours clinic from closing. All those stories and more from 6.
Tree of Joy. Gifts from the
Thanks,
heart.
Gav.
How it brings Christmas cheer to those who need it most. A current affair tonight.
On 9.
They called him the
7 o'clock Sunday.
the
about Robin Williams. 60 Minutes, Sunday at 7.
After NBN News.
Hungry Jack's new burger bundles just $39.95. Fall in love with the big, crunchy, juicy chicken. Get 2 classic Jack's fried chicken burgers, 2 Whopper cheese, 4 small drinks and chips, and 10 nuggets in the $39.95 burger bundle. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
It's time for us all to plan and prepare for bushfire. We've been through it before, and we'll get through it again. We live with bushfire, so we live bushfire ready.
Share a Christmas favourite, like sweet and juicy Australian Calypso mangoes for just $1.80 each. That's Christmas from Woolworths.
Fresh fruit people.
40th birthday. Excellent choice. This guy.
Excellent. Then that. From Ryobi.
Last Father's Day, major tree hits. And here, bang, bang, bang.
Or the usual saying, Ryobi.
Now, let's talk this Christmas.
How do you spell reciprocating, sir?
Christmas, made by 1+U. Premium hammer drill kit, $2.99, available at Bunnings Warehouse.
Harvey Norman, your
At Harvey
destination for outdoor
Norman,
living, with our huge
outdoor
range of
living.
furniture and barbecues. The latest trends in timber, stone, aluminium and wicker.
Like
Lounges
timber,
or dining. Find the
aluminium,
perfect solution to complete your alfresco area.
and a whole bunch
collection for the
more.
ultimate in choice. Barbecues from all the big brands.
Barbecues.
Beef eater, Everdew, Gasmate, Massport and Oklahoma Joe's, including smokers for slow cooking, charcoal
That's
grills,
right.
plus outdoor kitchens and fully customizable solutions. So much more to explore in our huge range.
So make sure you
Now,
get
Harvey
everything
Norman, your
now at
destination for
Harvey
outdoor
Norman,
living.
online, mobile and your local store.
When planning your
At
Christmas
Singo's,
feast, there's only one
it's
place to
Christmas
start,
ham
and
with
that's
all the
Singo's.
festive food.
Supermarket hams.
It's
Then
double
there's Singo's
smoked.
Christmas hams, which are mouth-watering and delicious and full of that rich smoky flavour, made from 100%
Make sure you go to your
Aussie
local
logs.
Singo's.
Cooked right on site in their Broadmeadow and Derrida stores. So treat your family to their best ever Christmas feast with
Make
hams,
sure you go to
pork,
Singo's
turkey,
now.
oysters, prawns and
The
lobster tails.
Singo's
You'll need
is
to
up
get
at
in early
Broadmeadow,
to avoid
Erina, West
missing out
Gosford,
at
San Remo
Singo's.
and Berrora.
This Christmas Eve, a magical night of carols by candlelight.
Tones and I. And an all-star Christmas singing starts 8 o'clock Christmas Eve. Santa Claus arrives, hosted by David Campbell and Alison Langdon at 8 on 9.
This program brought to you by Bearsheds. Value and quality direct to you.
Now is an NBN News update.
In NBN News,
With Gavin
restrictions
Morris.
return, indoor mask wearing and the 2 square metre rule back in place. The hunt hits a new COVID record, 976 infections, and a Parkinson's mystery cracked by Australian scientists. That's next.
NBN News.
Tonight, restrictions set to return across New South Wales as cases surge past 5,000. The plea to residents as testing centres buckle under the strain. The warning from Queensland's Premier as thousands head north. Plans to turbocharge the vaccine rollout for children. And Pat Cummins rejoins his teammates for Boxing Day test.
This is NBN News.
With Gavin Morris.
Good evening, mask up and check in. COVID restrictions are returning across New South Wales for the holidays, just days after being scrapped as new cases today surge above 5,000. And with testing facilities at breaking point, there was a plea from the Premier to only get one if you're sick.
The reality of living with COVID.
Oh my god. This is unbelievable.
Queuing for 2 hours for a test,
Damien
only
Ryan
to be turned
reporting.
away at Maroubra. Frustration and fear of being COVID positive.
A bit of a sore throat and my boss tested positive.
I've already been waiting at this testing clinic in Roselands for an hour.
That was 1 o'clock this morning.
I cannot believe that it's taking this long to get into COVID test at this time in the morning.
In the city, they stood in the rain. It's certainly miserable, and yet again another dark
Amy
not
and Ryan
focus on case
reporting.
numbers. But today, it's impossible to number of tests, more than 160,000, and a record number of cases, 5,715, towering previous highs, up more than 2,000 in the previous 24 hours.
It's quite amazing how many people are catching it, how easily people seem to be catching it.
Pardon me?
Restaurateur Joe Cipri expects to be among tomorrow's count.
I haven't got my result yet. I'm still
Joe
waiting,
Cipri,
but
Barbara and
I'm pretty certain,
Subway
mate.
Italian.
It's been 40 hours.
Christmas in isolation, and his two Paddington restaurants shut at the worst time.
This was it for us. I mean, this was our chance to sort of bed back some of the losses that we incurred throughout the year.
A customer with COVID spiralled into 8 staff being infected. He's now paying their sick leave without an income.
Where is Dominic Berntak? I haven't heard from him.
By mid-afternoon, the Premier emerged with a plan, which sounded very much like an old plan.
For hospitality
Dominic
venues,
Perret,
indoors
Premier.
to 2 square metres. If you can work from home, please work from home.
From the Prime Minister
It's a very clear message. Wear a mask.
to the country's top doctor
Masks are meant to be used.
and people on the streets,
Reintroduce masks.
the Premier has resisted mandating masks. Today, he relented.
As of midnight tonight, we will be requiring that masks are worn in indoor settings.
The QR code check-in system is back, but in a way that will not heap further pressure on testing clinics. The message was clear: if you're not sick or a contact, stay away.
If you aren't feeling unwell, please do not get a PCR test because you're taking the place and extending the queue for someone who is unwell and sick at this time.
Free rapid antigen tests will also help cut down the queues. No date yet on when they'll be available.
Great idea, go for it. Just do it. We go and ask Santa Claus for one because I reckon that's my highest chance of getting one.
Across the country, COVID is on the move. Case numbers doubling in Queensland.
Not only is the spread of this
Dr.
virus
John Geller,
inevitable,
Queensland Chief Health
it
Officer.
is necessary.
A brave view from the state's new health officer, hoping the virus can burn itself out. New South
Yeah.
Wales today could also find a positive from the record case numbers. Health experts advising the Omicron strain is 5 times less severe than Delta. The downside, it spreads much faster. Of the 5,000 plus cases, Sydney's eastern suburbs and the Shire recorded the most, 1,186. The inner west, 841, 704 in the southwest, and 691 in the west.
But we're on high alert. Government's on high
But
alert.
hasn't
I think
Health
community should be on high
Minister
alert.
Christmas hasn't been cancelled, but it will be a festive season wrapped in caution. Damien Ryan, NBN News.
As the COVID outbreak takes hold across the Hunter, it's not just families being left in the lurch. A growing number of businesses have been forced to close early due to the growing number of Christmas cancellations.
At this time of year, Geordie Moffat's restaurant should
Isabella
be full,
Evans
but instead
reporting.
the chairs are empty and staff left with no one to serve.
Newcastle.
To look around the restaurant, have absolutely no one
Geordie
sitting in the
Moffat,
restaurant at 12:30
restaurant owner.
on the lunchtime. It hurts.
The Wild Flame Barbecue restaurant at East Maitland has recently been redesigned to adhere to the government's social distancing rules. But in the past weekend alone, there's been more than 500 booking cancellations.
That's a slap in the face. We're standing here just with our hands in the air, just not knowing what to do.
Mr Moffat says while the government is urging families to reconsider mass gatherings over Christmas, no compensation is being provided to the businesses affected.
They have listened to you. They have shown us with their feet. There is no one here. There is no money. Where's the support?
A similar pain is being felt by local catering company CBD Industries. They were forecast to make $10,000 from events over the festive season, but due to cancellations, they too have been left with nothing.
It's a big blow
Luke
to
Reynolds,
all our
CBD
staff.
Industries.
They were super excited to get back behind the bar, front house and kitchens.
The Hunter has recorded 928
Isabella
new
Evans
COVID cases. Of
reporting.
those, 338 are in Newcastle, 316 in Lake Macquarie, 142 in Maitland, 61 in Port Stephens and 42 in Cessnock. Meanwhile, Singleton recorded 10, Muswellbrook 8, the Upper Hunter 6 and Dungog 5.
New South Wales
Jeremy
Health thanks the
McMahon,
community for their incredible
New South
response
Wales
and carry out for testing as transmission rates for COVID increase.
Isabella Evans, NBN News.
And Isabella Evans is in Newcastle for us tonight. Bella, you've got an update on the vaccine rollout across the Hunter.
Well, Gav,
Isabella
New South
Evans
Wales Health is now
reported
taking bookings for kids aged
vaccine
between 5 and 11 years to receive their COVID vaccinations, and we know that these appointments will be made available from January at a number of doctors' surgeries and pop-up clinics across the Hunter, including at Newcastle and Belmont. Health authorities say that while COVID-19 is far milder in children, it's important they're still vaccinated to help protect loved ones. We also understand that Pfizer will be the only vaccine available at this stage, and that these kids will receive just 1/3 of the dose available to those aged 12 and over. And of course, Gab, those who are deemed most vulnerable, including those with underlying health conditions, will be prioritised.
Bella, thank you. Let's go live now to reporter Jesse Burns on the Gold Coast. Jesse, the situation is worsening there.
Queensland has recorded its worst ever daily increase in
Jesse
cases,
Burns
369 new infections. That's an 100%
Cases
increase up from
100%
yesterday,
in 24
and we're told it's
hours.
only going to grow. This week in Queensland, the state reached 85% double dose, but here on the coast we are trailing behind, about 2% behind that state average, and that has the Premier concerned.
Across the southeast of our state, essentially every area is above 90%, except the Gold Coast region.
Those case numbers in our border bubble also staying quite high. 102 new cases in northern New South Wales and 59 in Byron. But we're told not to hit the panic button just yet. The vaccines are working, just one person in hospital.
Thanks, Jesse. Despite a hard border, COVID has found its way into Western Australia. One person has tested positive, and Premier Mark McGowan is taking action. Masks are now mandatory indoors and recommended outside when people can't socially distance. Large events have been cancelled and nightclubs closed. The ambulance service has issued a stern warning to time wasters ahead of what's likely to be a tough festive season. Headaches, trouble sleeping, even a splinter are just some of the reasons people have called 000 in the past 24 hours.
It's the silly season. Paramedics are used to finding themselves stretched to the limit, but combine the usual Christmas festivities with Sydney's worst yet COVID wave.
Under emergency, tell me exactly what happened.
And some of the silly excuses on the other end of that line have their patients wearing thin.
If you can't sleep,
Acting
if you have a
Commander
toothache,
David Dutton,
if you
New
have
South Wales
splinter,
Ambulance.
if you want to check the opening hours of a testing clinic or follow up on a COVID vaccination, please do not call emergency 000.
Yesterday, paramedics took a 000 call every 24 seconds, many unnecessary, potentially delaying a response to somebody who really needed it.
We're asking to save 000 for saving lives.
Even after the exhausting year they've had, our health staff aren't getting a Christmas holiday. As we wind down, they're ramping up. Hospitals hit by increasing caseloads and staff wiped out by COVID exposure.
Many of our health workers,
Dominic
around 1,500 just today, are either sick or unable through testing requirements to be able to come into work.
As for whether we'll bring in help, New South Wales sent resources to Victoria during the height of Melbourne's COVID crisis, but at this stage the Health Minister says we're not quite ready to put out an SOS call.
I'm absolutely certain that if we do need a make
Brad
a
Hazard,
call on
Health
some of our
Minister.
compatriots around some of the other states, they'll be there to back us in.
Liz Daniels, NBN News.
The threat of Omicron didn't stop Novocastrians from stocking up on food and presents ahead of Christmas. And for some, that meant getting up very early.
A long line snaking around the Fisherman's Co-op at Wickham.
Already at 6 there's a queue already, so
Robert Goddard, Commercial Fishermen's Co-operative
These
Newcastle.
eager customers were among the first to get their hands on a fresh Christmas catch.
I really want to get some swordfish. My wife does this fantastic ceviche.
I bought some prawns, oysters and squid. The school prawns are a good price, so it's a bargain for the customers.
At Sellers Quality Meats in Merriweather, stock was also flying out the doors.
Orders are very
Rodney
consistent.
Sellers Quality
Ham's
Meats.
going really well. Pretty well sold out of ham, actually.
At Westfield Katara, masked up shoppers were out to bag their final few stocking fillers.
I left everything till last minute. I'm really struggling.
Many preparing to keep Christmas celebrations small and COVID safe.
My sister's boyfriend, he actually had COVID, so he's still waiting for his results back, so I don't know if he'll make it.
My in-laws had to isolate for 72 hours, but they're all free now.
Mall stores will be open late tonight. Time is running out to get those last gifts
Holly
before they
Williams
close on
reporting.
Christmas Day. When they do reopen on Boxing Day, we're being
Katara.
told there's massive savings to be found. From clothing, gaming and everything in between. And even for those in isolation, there was no stopping the deliveries or the Christmas spirit. Holly Williams, NBN News.
COVID numbers have doubled overnight on the Central Coast, the region recording 199 new infections. It's the highest number recorded in as many days.
Yesterday, they were just shy of 100. Today, the numbers are sitting on the brink of 200.
Today we've seen a record number of cases.
Scott
of
McLean,
199
Central
cases
Coast
on the
Local
Central
Health.
Coast. It's a significant jump from yesterday.
COVID continuing to loom large 2 days out from Christmas, and the local health district doesn't think the daily tally will decline just yet.
With the doubling of case numbers every day or 2 days in coming days, weeks, it certainly means COVID is spreading around our community.
Authorities are urging anyone without their second COVID vaccination to make a booking.
We've still got about 20,000 people on the Central Coast that don't have their second dose of either Pfizer, Moderna or AstraZeneca.
Meanwhile, those eligible for the booster shot should do the same.
Minimum boost
Trent
is
Playfield
5 months
and
from their
West
second dose.
Gosford.
There are some circumstances, if they're travelling or will be unable to get in, that we can do them up to 2 weeks early.
MCAL at West Gosford is starting to see vaccination numbers ramp up after a slow couple of months and a supply shortage.
Yeah, we only really had drips and drabs of vaccines occurring. We went from a peak of well in excess of 100 vaccines a week down to only 2 or 3 vaccinations to be done.
The pharmacy restocking its supplies today, preparing for an influx of customers. Laura Coffey, NBN News.
While many hit the roads at this time of year to join family and friends for Christmas, police are warning people not to speed or drive
Christmas
after drinking
crackdown.
during the holiday
Police
season.
target drink.
Our men and women in blue will actually pull you over and they will throw the book at you if you are doing the wrong thing.
Double demerit points will begin at midnight tonight and run until January 3. A teenager has died in a crash after his motorcycle and a Daihatsu collided near Nimbin. The 18-year-old died at the scene while the 41-year-old driver was taken to Nimbin Hospital for mandatory testing. The young man is the second motorcyclist to die on the region's roads in less than a week. A man's been charged, accused of leading police on a pursuit through Tamworth, which ended with a car crashing through a fence. Police allege the 20-year-old unlicensed driver failed to stop for officers yesterday morning, then took off. He's facing several charges, including police pursuit and driving recklessly. The after-hours GP clinic at the Mater Hospital will close tomorrow after more than 20 years. Local MPs are lobbying to keep it open though. It's estimated the clinic has been, or has seen more than 2 million patients through its doors.
It just doesn't handle those long evening waits. So having a service that can flow through and see him within 30 minutes of making an appointment is absolutely paramount.
A petition calling on the federal government to reverse the decision has so far garnered more than 11,000 signatures. A warning to Indigenous viewers, this next story contains the name and image of a deceased person. The Mid-Coast is mourning community champion and Aboriginal educator Jay Davis, who's lost his battle with a rare heart condition. His brother, former block contestant Andy Saunders, broke the news on social media today, describing Jay as a proud Iroquois man beloved by his community. Taking a quick look at the weather across the region today. More showers are on the way. You're watching NBN News. Still ahead, a father dead and a son fighting for life following a horror stabbing.
Fatal stabbing.
Treat your COVID at home, the pill that could change the pandemic. And a great super recovery, how Australians are topping up their nest egg.
Chrysler Pharmacy's 3-day sale is on now. Save up to half price on skincare, sun care, tanning and selected fragrance. Plus double sister club points. Hurry and Friday.
Sale ends this Friday, the 24th
No
December.
matter where you are in Australia, we've all got our own traditions, and I think that's what makes Christmas so
It's up
special.
at Bunnings.
We eat too much. We have food comas.
Mortgage thongs sitting around an esky eating prawns is not a bad way to go, is it?
We sit in the pool for a good 3-4 hours, like we come out looking like shriveled prunes.
I've got grandkids now, and it's just so good watching them
That's
open
right.
presents. It's just all excitement.
Make sure you head off to your local Bunnings warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
That's right.
It's a set that transcends time, and it's only $240. Not a chemist warehouse, it's not.
Get these pressings for less. Like Hugo Boss bottled 100ml range now $49.99, and Chloe by Chloe 50ml now $79.99. For the biggest range of big brand fragrances, shop at Chemist Warehouse and stop paying too much.
Yeah. Fair.
It's your job to pre-cook it.
What?
A
It's
chef
your
who
job.
makes you pre-cook? Who puts up with that? So why put up with a dish tab
To have a
that
chef
forces you to
who makes you
pre-wash?
pre-cook.
Switch to New Fairy built-in pre-wash power. Rehydrates, lifts, and breaks down even baked-on food. Doing the pre-wash for you.
One wash, and it's all clean.
Anything cleans your filter too. Try it to believe it. New Fairy with built-in pre-wash power.
Yep. Olay.
Light up from within. With Olay's Vitamin C Super Serum. Its scientifically advanced formula absorbs 2 times better to bring out your inner glow from day one. Olay's Super Serum.
The Australian Open next year will become huge with champions and challengers united by play. The Australian Open 17th to 30th of January 2022
Get 25% off store-wide for everything inside
up
your
at
garden
Autobahn.
or out in the garage. Available online for
Harry's
Christmas Day,
stores open 8 AM Boxing Day, which is this Sunday.
Find your perfect night's sleep at Domain. Our wide range features the best bedding brands with the latest sleep technology. Mattresses and ensembles designed for individual support and personalised comfort. Solutions for hot sleepers. Clever storage ideas to save on space and adjustable bases for healthy bodies and relaxed lifestyles. Plus, get 60 months interest-free, no deposit, no interest from Latitude with 60 approximately equal monthly payments and receive a bonus gift card up to $1,000.
Right now at Domain, experience the difference.
Pfizer vaccines for children have landed in Australia, with a rollout set to begin in just over 2 weeks. It will be a challenging time for the federal government, which is also facing a jump in demand for boosters.
It's a Kirribilli Christmas for the Prime Minister, with his dog, his family, and presents too, as a gift touches down for Australians.
Pfizer
Greg
doses
Hunt,
for children
Health
have
Minister.
now arrived.
9 News understands more than 1 million doses of Pfizer jab for
NBN
5 to
News,
11-year-olds are now in the country. Another 2 million to arrive by January 10.
Important news for parents.
Getting that part of the rollout right won't be the only challenge for the government in the new year. Demand for boosters is on the rise.
We're going to have to get back up to those
Lieutenant
rates
General
of
John
around 2 million,
Freeman,
maybe
COVID
more doses a
vaccine
week.
task force.
167,000 doses were administered yesterday, taking the total to 1.8 million. Millions more people could become eligible if ATAGI reduces the interval between second and third doses from 5 months to 4. Having enough GPs and pharmacists to give the jabs will be crucial.
What will help lift that capacity further is the commitment of the states.
Omicron has forced a rush for boosters and testing as case numbers climb, and in some places restrictions, including mask mandates, are back, and experts are asking, how do we live with COVID?
Do we continue along a path of
Dr.
government
Nick
intervention,
Coatswold,
or do we
infectious
continue along a
diseases
path of
physician.
social responsibility?
The Prime Minister prefers the latter.
Scott Morrison, Prime Minister.
You don't need to be first to do it.
Saying the choice is as clear as applying sunscreen.
There's no rule or requirement to do that.
If I don't
Anthony
put
Albanese,
sunscreen on,
opposition
you're
leader.
not the one
who gets sunburnt.
The opposition leader is back from a brief break. The coalition in his sights.
The federal government shut down a whole lot of the testing areas.
Not true, says the minister.
It's better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak up and remove all doubt.
How they handle pressure will
Jonathan
be key for both
Kersley
the opposition leader
reporting.
and the Prime Minister. While many Australians take a break at the end of what has been another difficult year, it seems neither Anthony Albanese nor Scott Morrison will be downing the political tools this festive season, because with an election due, both want to be seen to be leading. Jonathan Kersley, NBN News.
The first home COVID treatment could be available next week in the United States. Health officials there approving the antiviral pill, which is shown to be 90% effective in preventing severe disease and death.
A green light for a pink pill set to change the way we treat COVID-19. The US Food and Drug Administration signing off on Pfizer's Paxlovid.
A pill that dramatically reduces the risk
Dr.
of
Jeff
hospitalizations
Zients,
and
White
death
House
for those
Private
at risk.
Responsible
The pill
Coordinator.
works by blocking activity of a key enzyme which the virus needs to replicate. The 5-day course of the drug requires 3 pills twice a day. If taken within the first 3 days of symptoms, it reduces the risk of hospitalisation and death by 89%. Pfizer says its laboratory tests indicate Paxlovid works against the Omicron variant as it doesn't rely on attacking the spike protein.
From next week, doctors can prescribe this medicine to anyone considered high risk over the age of 12.
Alison
Now, while there are
Petrosky,
COVID
9
treatments already
News
available, they
correspondent.
need to be delivered intravenously or by injection. So this is the first COVID drug that can be taken at home.
President Biden already purchased 10 million doses in anticipation of its approval, 200,000 of those ready to go. Australia has secured access to 500,000 treatment courses subject to TGA approval. But due to the complex chemistry involved, Pfizer's pill takes months to produce, the company ramping up production to meet demand.
And hopefully we'll be able to shorten
Dr.
that
Anthony
process by
Fauci,
working
US
closely with them.
President's
But
Chief Medical
supply is still
Advisor.
expected to be limited for months, already leading to concerns about equitable distribution. Scientists say the message is clear: your first line of defence is still vaccination. In the United States, Alison Petrosky, NBN News.
Anti-tank missiles have been fired in drills by the Ukrainian military as tensions grow with Russia. The US-made missiles are part of Ukraine's efforts to bolster its defences to stave off a possible invasion by Russia. Thousands of Russian troops have been massing near the border, conducting their own drills. The father is dead and his teenage son fighting for life after a triple stabbing at a park in Western Sydney. Tonight, police are speaking with 2 teenagers who handed themselves in after the fatal fight, which was sparked by a trivial property dispute.
Racing towards the aftermath of a deadly fight. Red and blue lights illuminate the chaos of Whalen Reserve as paramedics
Sydney.
fight to save 3 men stabbed yesterday evening.
It was an exceptionally confronting scene with a lot going on, with a lot of people.
40-year-old father Matthew Smale couldn't be saved. His 19-year-old son Jaden taken in a critical condition to Westmead Hospital, while a 25-year-old was treated for lacerations as family and friends watched on helplessly.
There was a lot of emotion at the scene. People were hysterical. There were obviously significant issues, quite confronting for the
Head
general
of
public to
Plague,
see,
New
the
South
family
Wales
members,
ambulance.
especially this close to Christmas.
The senseless death came after 2 groups met to settle an argument over a stolen PlayStation and a cat.
On social media, they've been having a bit of a go at each other.
Detective Chief Inspector Paul Tickner, New South Wales Police.
Using a weapon and stabbing with 3 miles.
Supporters of the stabbed trio then tried to run the opposing group over, but rolled their ute.
It is trivial. It's escalated to a point that's just ridiculous where a person's lost their life.
Police searching in the dark for a potential weapon. And back at Catlin Close Reserve again this morning, scouring every inch of grass and bush. Homicide detectives also on the scene as 4 cars abandoned in the fight were towed away, while police searched a second crime scene at a Kingswood unit block. Police know the 2 groups involved, and while they expect to make several arrests, they're asking witnesses or anyone with dash cam from the reserve or surrounding roads to come forward. Tonight, 2 teenagers remain in custody and are talking to detectives.
Violent crime is always sad. It's exceptionally sad at this time of year.
Emma Partridge, NBN News.
Well, it's almost Christmas and the skies have certainly been firing up. Let's take a little look at the weather situation. It's been another very active day. A lot of cloud, a lot of storms right across the region, particularly throughout the northwest and the mid-north coast extending onto the northern rivers. It's been very warm, it's been very humid, but what about Christmas Eve? Well, starting out generally fine, still very, very humid indeed. The more storm cells likely to flare up, particularly right across the northwest, the northern New South Wales ranges, the Macquarie Coast, Coffs Coast as well. Showers in the forecast for the Gold Coast and around Newcastle as well. I'll be back with a closer look at all of your local weather details a little later. But coming up next, the Australian research which could lead to a new treatment for Parkinson's disease. NASA prepares to launch its powerful new space telescope. And a return to the wild for 6 special turtles on the far north coast.
That's up next on NBN News. Don't go anywhere.
It's value the Australian way this Christmas with Coles Delicious Australian Beechwood smoked half-leg ham from Aussie pork farmers like the Edsons. And just $8.50 a kilo. Now that's the way to make them celebrate. Only at Coles.
This is a smart SUV. The design is sharp and the technology genius. But the really smart feature is the driver. Someone savvy enough to demand more and get it. The all-new Havel Jolion. Smart move.
From JWM. Go with more.
At New South Wales, we're excited about the future. For those who want to learn something new, so they can share it with the world. Enroll now for semester 1. In-demand courses are filling fast. Search Take New South Wales or call 131 601.
Go to this website now.
Your own moves.
Install online or on the app.
Do you want to know a secret? Do you promise not to tell? Give chocolate secretly to someone you love.
There's a lot to celebrate in this
At
time
being
of year.
late.
Most of all, just getting together.
So here's the family.
From everyone
The Lord Christmas Eve at being late.
Happy holidays.
'Tis the season to celebrate at being late.
It's time.
Can you say?
It's overseas now, it's an Australian model.
Get up to 50% off everything during Bedshed's stock take sale. Mattresses, bedroom suites, kids furniture and more. All up to 50% off at Bedshed. That's why no one's better in the bedroom.
Shop online 24/7.
O'Neill, the original
At
since
Anaconda.
1952. New range now at Anaconda. Head in store or shop online at anacondastores.com. Play more, pay less.
10% plus fee. McDonald Jones, find yourself at home.
A giant air tanker has landed in New South Wales today, a new national asset to help fight bushfires across all states. The aircraft will be the workhorse of the nation when it comes in to tackle blazes from above.
There she goes, Australia's newest aerial asset, our angel in the sky,
And she does
here
go.
to put fires out on the ground.
Right about here. Right on.
The large air tanker flew in from California via Fiji today. It's the first of its kind in Australia, nationally owned, meaning it will be available for all states and territories to put to use. Our fire chiefs from
Bridget
around the country,
McKenzie,
from all
Emergency
states
Management
and territories
Minister.
coming together and making a decision. Where do we deploy? Where has the greatest needs?
This
aircraft will be
Joe
specific to
Buffon,
move around the
Emergency
country, so it's not
Management Australia.
owned or leased by any jurisdiction.
The aircraft has actually been to New South Wales before. The 737 brought in on a lease to help fight fires in 2018. Today, we can call her our own.
This large air tanker is an incredible addition to the fleet that's coming into Australia, following on from the 1920 Black Summer.
So this is the tank that
Bush
holds
fires?
all of the fire retardant, the water. How much does it hold?
Well, the two tanks here, 15,000 litres.
Rob Webb was
pretty
Australian
amazingly,
Fire
we
Emergency
filled up in
Services
about 10 minutes.
When the
Authorities
tanker is
Council.
over a bushfire, all it takes is the push of this little red button,
Lauren
and
Thomas
up to
here
15,000
reporting.
litres of fire retardant is dropped. The tanker still needs a name, so
I'm asking rural and regional students in grades 5 to 8 to help me name the large air tanker.
that competition will be open come term 1 next year. Lauren Tomasi, NBN News.
There's new hope tonight for thousands of Australians living with Parkinson's. Australian researchers have made a major development which could finally see a treatment for the disease.
For more than a decade, Ian McClellan's nervous system has been attacked.
I've lost my sense of smell, my right eye started to wander.
The 47-year-old father diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
Ian McLean, Parkinson's
It's classed as a
patient.
movement disorder, but it affects every facet of your life.
What causes the incurable disease has been a mystery, but after an 8-year study, Melbourne researchers have uncovered a breakthrough.
We hope that this will inform
Associate
not only
Professor
how pink
Grant
blood functions,
Dawson,
but also
researcher.
how defects in this protein cause Parkinson's disease.
Snapshots of a protein were stitched together, providing the first detailed insight into how and why it stops functioning, causing brain cells to malfunction and in the long term die.
More than 80,000
Natasha
Australians are living with
Kramer
Parkinson's, and
reporting.
right now there is no cure. It's hoped this discovery will fast-track treatments.
There are a number of pharmaceutical companies and research institutes around the world that are working on activating or turning on PINK1 to treat Parkinson's disease.
Life-changing news for thousands who thought there was no hope.
It'll give people like me some chance of a normal life again.
Natasha Kramer, NBN News.
NASA is about to launch its most powerful ever telescope to seek out the origins of the universe. And Australian technology will be on board, helping in the search for planets which may contain life.
Mankind is about to see further than we have ever
Mike
seen
Dalton
before.
reporting.
The James Webb Space Telescope, about to leave the clutch of Earth's gravity to journey 1.5 million kilometres to a point between the Moon and Mars.
For the first time, we've got this clear view.
Professor
out into
Peter
that
Turfield,
cold void.
University of Sydney, astrophysicist.
So it's got about 6 times the light collecting area that Hubble does.
Making it 100 times more powerful. The telescope loaded with infrared technology, designed to peer through the soup of space dust. One of those instruments designed in Sydney.
So it's kind of like a magnifying glass. What we want to do is zoom right in and get really fine structures in the objects that we study.
It will lead a lonely existence as it takes its post.
It's going out to this remote cold orbit. It's got this amazing big umbrella that shields it from the sun. Behind that umbrella, the telescope lives there in perpetual cold and perpetual darkness.
Its remote orbit advantageous for peering deeply into space, like turning off the house lights to look from a window into the sky.
Right, otherwise you're just blinded by the glare of the room you're in.
The project described as spectacularly audacious, the telescope unfurling like a flower on its 7 months of journey.
Where all the mirrors fold out on its flight out to its science orbit, it'll put us out into new terrain.
Mike Dalton, NBN News.
A brawl has broken out in Ghana's parliament during debate over a proposed electronic payments tax. It's not the first punch-up in the country's parliament this year. In January, a mass fight lasted several hours until the army moved in. A 97-year-old American World War II veteran who's also a COVID survivor has finally been awarded his high school diploma. Ernie Reeder was supposed to graduate in 1943, but was sent to boot camp instead. Now he's finally finished his high school education thanks to a ceremony arranged by his granddaughter through a program to get diplomas for veterans. COVID might have taken
Super
a hammer
boost.
to our personal finances in the past 2 years, but it seems we're starting to bounce back, especially when it comes to super. Eddie Meyer looks at the latest data.
When the Commonwealth Government unlocked super, allowing Australians to withdraw up to 2 lots of $10,000, for many it was a lifeline. In all, $36 billion was withdrawn. Now, new research by AMP of it's almost one.
So grateful to have the volunteers in the area doing such great things.
Gracie Richter, NBN News.
To finance now, the All Awards closed slightly higher today. The tech sector led the gains with the Link administration soaring after a takeover bid. And $1 Australian is buying 72 US cents and 54 British pence. Sport now with Kate Haberfield. And Kate, England still think they're a chance in the Ashes.
They do, but us Aussies don't. Thanks, Gav. After the break, yet another victory for the Aussies over the Poms today. We'll tell you what that is next. The skipper set to take to the water in his 39th Sydney to Hobart. And what Parramatta's Ryan Madison thinks of the club's player exodus.
Gillette.
Introducing Gillette's best ever range.
Next. Shall we take it from the top? Introducing Gillette's best earth razors ever.
Is that even a word?
Oh, it's a word, bro. It's a word.
Yeah, it is.
Whatever you're
You
playing,
would.
big or small,
Whatever you're
we're onto
playing,
it.
big or small.
Ewing, you insured.
Warhead Sour Bursties in frozen drinks. Take the ultimate sour challenge with exploding thirsty flavour sensation. Choose sour apple or sour watermelon. Survive the sour. New $2 Warheads Bursties only at Hungry Jack's.
Street damage
Beauty
care with
Break
Schwarzkopf from Chemist
from Chemist
Warehouse. It
Warehouse.
repairs hair in just 7 seconds for up to 90% less breakage. New Schwarzkopf Ultimate Repair 7 seconds treatment is $8.49. Live and look, feel fabulous every day.
At Chemist Warehouse.
This is it. More noise. More history.
The Ashes. You better hurry.
It just
Because
means
the pink test's in Sydney on January the 5th to 9th. But what happens if you're involved in a car accident? You won't survive. If you drive at 120 kilometers per hour, and you could get killed. Everyday decisions matter. And don't forget to say yeah, nah to taking risks.
I went to Carol O'Day.
Rhonda's
To have
story.
that team on your side, it's a very safe feeling. Money doesn't buy you happiness, but it makes you stop worrying about a lot of other things.
Cower and OD lawyers.
When you're selling a family home, moving to the country, expanding your business, or buying your first home, a local Realty expert is here to help. Choose a local expert. Choose Realty.
At Ants of Lochinvar, they have plenty of hats, jeans, as well as sandals and bags.
Something for everyone
The place for all of your Christmas gifts.
Auto Imaging puts your
Lochinvar.
needs first with the
Auto
utmost
Imaging
professionalism
has
and
everywhere
care. Choose your
throughout
true
Newcastle
local imaging
and the
service
Hunter.
with easy on-site parking. Now accepting all referrals.
Auto
Choose
Imaging
Auto Imaging.
from East Maitland to Cessnock. Now his
Marcus
sport with
Labuschagne
Kate
takes the field on
Haberfield.
Boxing Day as the world's best batsman. The Australian number 3 has replaced Joe Root at the top of the rankings, and coach Justin Langer believes there's still room for improvement.
Pat Cummins back in business, rejoining the squad after a brush with COVID wiped him out of the second test. Australia survived without the world's top-ranked bowler in Adelaide, in large part due to the performance of the world's new #1 batsman. Marcus Labuschagne top-scored in both innings, and according to his coach, the best is yet to come.
He just continues to get
Justin
better and better.
Langer,
So
Australia
I've got
coach.
absolutely no reason to believe he won't keep getting better and better. He's
certainly as hungry as ever. He's working as hard as ever, and let's hope he continues on this incredible rise.
Australia's one backing headache has been the form of Marcus Harris, the desire to lock in a long-term opening partnership, ensuring he's avoided the axe.
We've chopped and changed a lot over the last 5 or 6 years, and that's testimony to that is how many opening partners Davey Warner's had in his career. So certainly one of the building blocks of a great team is the opening partnership.
What isn't certain is the makeup of the Australian bowling attack. Josh Hazlewood travelled to Melbourne today after missing the second test due to injury. He remains in doubt for Boxing Day. Despite struggling with a rib complaint, Mitchell Starc is set to play.
Sunday.
He is that tough. But if he's not right, then we'll look at it. But at this stage, there's no indication suggesting he won't be playing the next test match.
England were in the nets getting some much-needed practice this morning. They've also faced up to some harsh realities, but remain convinced they can still win the series.
We've had a good couple of chats about how we can get better.
Doug
We
Malone,
want to win
England.
the series still. I know it's a long way for us to come.
Chris Hodgkinson, NBN News.
Most of Parramatta's off-contract stars have now sorted their futures, except for Ryan Matterson. The Eels back rower insists he's in no rush to lock in a new deal. Instead, his focus for the festive season is on others more in need.
As pre-season training winds down, most players are putting their feet up, but not Ryan Matterson. He's out and about in Sydney, working for a charity called Christmas on the Streets.
Yeah, I feel like at the moment,
Ryan
homelessness
Matterson,
is a taboo topic.
Eels.
People kind of turn a blind eye to it because it's a little bit confronting, a little bit awkward, but all we're doing here is just acknowledging what's going on, and if we can offer a helping hand, if it's just asking them how they like their coffee.
Guys that are playing sport, athletes, they're people too.
Russell and
and seeing them use
Raphael,
their
Christmas
platforms for
on
good
the
stuff, it's
Streets.
inspiring, it's contagious, yeah, and we need more of it for sure.
And Matterson's getting plenty of help in return.
I was just having a chat just there, and he's giving me all this information on how I can be a better player. So, yeah, so there are also coaches out here, which is really good. So I'm doing a bit of work and getting some feedback at the same time.
The Eels have dominated headlines this off-season with an exodus of players. Reid Marnie and Isaiah Papali'i have landed the biggest deals of their careers, and Matterson doesn't blame them.
They're good people, and we're always going to be brothers, and that's what you experience. You experience that brotherhood in rugby league. But some players move on and some stay, but you always cherish the moments you play with them. But yeah, we wish them all the best.
They did lock down skipper Clint Gutherson, who is once again dominating pre-season. Many consider him the fittest guy in rugby league.
I feel like he injects himself with caffeine 24/7, but yeah, the energy that he has, I wish it could come on a bit of me.
Emma Lawrence, NBN News.
After the break, Liverpool edged through to the quarterfinals of the English
Now a
League
victory.
Cup. And Paul
A
Gower
brutal
rocked
showdown
Darcy
in
Lussick in
boxing.
a brutal showdown.
Super Tech Autos today, Boxing Day sale. Online 25th December and in store online 26th of December. Oh, the offer on Sunday.
I know my skin and how sensitive it gets, so when I shave, I choose a razor that gives me the longest lasting
Gillette
smooth for less
Venus
sensitive skin.
has
Venus Deluxe
sensitive
Smooth
skin.
Sensitive with Skin Elixir Lubric Strip and a touch of aloe vera. Venus.
Turkey, ham, chicken,
Turkey.
Norwegian.
Yes.
Fresh to hand and roast is only $17.99 per kilo because you can't overcook Christmas. Aldi, good, different.
We're different from Aldi. The Tourist is a Stan original series.
I don't remember.
It's out now on January the 2nd, which is next year.
I have the worst luck in the world if someone's trying to kill me. What if all these memories...
How he got here is a hell of a story.
Put everyone on.
What if I can help this person?
We've got dance practice at 4 at Diego. The brand new Stan original series, The Tourist, premieres January 2, only on Stan.
At Hungry Jack's, Jack's Cafe now has caramel fudge iced coffee. Barista made, rich and velvety smooth with delicious caramel fudge sauce. Pick up Jack's Cafe ice drinks and your 5th cup's free with Hungry Jack's app rewards.
Pandora. For every sister.
Discover meaningful gifts for every story at Pandora.
Story at Pandora.
Before solar rebates reduce, secure your lowest
On
possible
January
price
the
on Solar
1st.
Secure's best-selling
That's up at
6.6
Solar
kilowatt
Secure.
package or add-a-home battery to your new
Power
existing system.
call
with
before
free energy
rebates
monitor while
reduced
stocks
on
last.
January
Call
the
Player
1st
731
next year.
1300 867 328.
Absolutely everything is on sale at Freedom, with up to 20% off
That's up at
sofas,
Freedom
up to
in Newcastle.
25% off furniture and homewares, and up to 50% off mattresses. It's happening right now, only at Freedom.
Up at Freedom, Newcastle.
Australia, the tallest water park slide tower
Up
in the
at
country,
Wet
is
n
now
Wild.
open at Wet n Wild. Batman Legacy, the exhibition
Warner
is
Brothers
coming to
Movie
Sydney
World
and the new Atlantis
and
Sea
SeaWorld.
Vortex now open. Holiday on the Gold Coast with your Village Roadshow Escape Pass.
Free parks, 3
At Harvey
days.
Norman, Christmas gift
At Harvey
ideas for
Norman,
everyone.
Christmas
T-Fal
gift
Easy Fry
ideas.
Grill Classic Air Fryer at just
$1.99.
$199. Sonos Road Portable Smart Speaker $279. Save $50 on the home
The heat
bed
option,
Shiatsu massage seat with
$2.99.
heat option. For a close shave, the
$5.99.
Philips Prestige 9000 shaver
$5.49.
with bonus $100 cashback. Plus, get 60 months interest-free, no deposit, no interest from Latitude with 60 approximately equal monthly
Better
payments,
hurry,
and
the offer
receive a
ends
bonus
soon.
gift card up to $1,000 now at Harvey Norman.
Online, mobile, and your local store. Copacabana on the Central Coast. 2260. 9. We love it. Sport.
There was a fast start from Darcy Lussick, but Paul Gallen quickly took control of their fight at the start. The referee eventually stopping the bout in the third round.
All due respect, I wasn't concerned. Even when started the second round, we had a big flurry. Go back and watch it. Not a single punch landed. I was just parrying him and letting him wear himself out a bit. And I know he's a tough dude. And I can't thank him enough for stepping in after someone else pulled out.
On the undercard, Joey Leilua beat Chris Hyington by unanimous decision. No upsets in the English League Cup quarterfinals, but there were some tight games. Chelsea needed an own goal and a penalty to beat Brentford. Tottenham edged out West Ham 2-1, while Liverpool scored in the 95th minute to draw 3-3 with Leicester. They went on to win the penalty shootout 5-4. Ed Salters will skip a midnight rambler in the Sydney to Hobart, and quite incredibly, it'll be his 39th time in the race. Salters admits he tried to retire a few years ago, but just couldn't bear to give it away.
I can't explain what it
Ed
is, but it's just
Salters,
something
midnight rambler,
that
skipper.
really, it's sort of larger than life. It's outside of life, for me anyway. So yes, I'm still hugely excited about doing the race.
Midnight Rambler is one of the main contenders for the overall race win. The Wanderers are the latest A-League team to be affected by COVID, as Jets officials wait on health advice regarding the return of its COVID-affected players, Angus Thurgate and Jordan Elsey. The rest of the squad is preparing for a second clash with Western Sydney in 4 weeks, this time in front of an empty stadium. In the age of COVID, professional
McDonald
athletes
Jones
have learned to roll
Stadium.
with the punches. The Jets are hoping they don't have to play in empty stadiums for too long.
It's disappointing, for our supporters.
Arthur
that we can't
Papas,
come
Jets
play in front of
coach.
them, and that's really what it's all about anyway. Playing for our supporters. So to not have them there that's not ideal. It's not how you want football to be played.
Angus Thurgate and Jordan Elsey have both been affected by the virus. Their return date remains up in the air.
I'm just waiting for some clarity on all the rules with all this stuff and how many days and obviously their health where it's at. So I don't really have an answer on it as yet, to be honest.
Riley Warland stepped in for Elsey at the last minute against the Bulls.
Whether you're starting or not, you've got to prepare like you are
Riley
starting the game,
Warland,
because things like this
Jets.
do happen within a matter of minutes. It can happen, a day before the game. It can happen on game day. It can happen 2 minutes before the first whistle blows.
The coach was happy with the 19-year-old's effort, indicating he's likely to be called upon again on Sunday against Western Sydney.
I'm a young defender, but I also want to be vocal. I want to be loud. I want to be a leader. I'm not just a young kid in the back line. I don't see that. Age is just a number for myself.
Dylan Manane left the field early with a foot injury in the loss to MacArthur. His training load has increased as the week has progressed.
It doesn't look like it's too serious. There's no fractures or anything like that. So hopefully he's available.
He rattled Justin Hodges, but it wasn't enough for Nathan Ross to win their heavyweight bout. The former Night Star landed some
Boxing,
blows
former
early on,
night
but ran
Nathan
out of
Ross
puff as
beaten by
Hodges edged
Justin
ahead.
Hodges.
The former Broncos star winning
Damn.
a majority points decision. Despite plenty of trash talk in the lead up to the bout, there was nothing but respect after the final bell.
Oh, credit, we had a war in there. We tried really hard. A lot of people probably don't give us the respect that we deserve, but we trained our off. We put our lives in point in the line after a long and on career.
Jason Sanger says getting back to the fun of cricket helped him to a healthy knock in the Thunder's recent
Cricket, Jason Sanger helped Sydney Thunder to victory.
28 balls to notch up his third highest Big Bash score. He's hoping to get back in the middle when the Thunder takes on the Sixers on Boxing Day and the Scorchers on the 28th.
In the past, I've brought a lot of pressure on myself.
Jason Sanger, Sydney Thunder.
So this year, I'm really just trying to enjoy myself and have a lot of fun out there. And against two teams, I've had a really good start to the competition as well. So yeah, it'd be nice to see where my skill sets against those two teams.
The Thunder are currently sitting third on the BBL ladder. Newcastle boy doing well.
Thanks so much, Kate. Lots in sport and lots in weather as well. I'll be back with a look at the weather next.
Newcastle.
It's your job
With Fairy.
What? A chef who makes you pre-cook? Who puts up with that?
Absolutely.
So why put up with a dish tap that forces you to pre-wash?
Pre-wash?
Switch to New Fairy with built-in
So what would you
pre-wash
do
power.
if you had
Rehydrates, breaks
if you
down
had a built-in
baked
pre-wash
food.
power?
Doing the pre-wash for you.
It means you have to clean up.
Anything cleans your filter too. Try it to believe it. New
That's
Fairy
right.
with built-in pre-wash power.
Or sing along with Christmas carols in a commercial. ARB.
Look around as the favourites come out. It
It begins.
Serving with an eagle eye. Mastering the art of stashing. Brilliant move, Grant.
Great job, Grandma.
Everyone gets their favourites. Hungry Jack's new burger bundles just $39.95. Fall in love with the big, crunchy, juicy chicken. Get 2 classic Jack's fried chicken burgers, 2 Whopper cheese, 4 small drinks and chips, and 10 nuggets in the $39.95 burger bundle. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
You say.
Free chef calling knives are back at Coles.
Spend $20
That's right.
in one transaction, scan your Flybuys card, and you'll earn 1 knife credit.
Claim your knives free
Don't
for the
forget,
credits you earn.
be careful. Knives are really dangerous and they can really cut you.
There's popular favourites plus 4 new additions like the amazing mini chopper.
Handy
Oh.
kitchen scissors and more to collect.
So you'll be prepping like a pro in no time.
Free chef quality knives from Coles.
Value the Australian way.
Home delivery and click and collect.
We have an extensive range of mobility.
They support the NDIS, mobility aids, and a whole bunch more.
Mobility. Visit our brand new showroom today.
Hillsborough Road, Warners
At
Bay.
Harvey, get the latest tech for Christmas. Instax Mini 11 photo kit, available in 3 great colours, just $124. Save $50 on the Samsung Galaxy Tab A7 Lite Wi-Fi tablet, now only $198. Get creative with the Cricket Joy Machine, only $278. Update your mobile to the TCL 20L Plus, now just
$298.
Save $100. More great
Right
gift
now,
ideas in
Harvey
store
Norman,
and
online,
now
mobile,
at
and your local store. At Autobahn, it's your Boxing Day sale. Available online from Christmas Day. Stores open 8 AM Boxing Day. Clover Cabana on the Central Coast. 2260. 9. We love it. Now it's time for the weather with Gavin Morris.
La Nina is doing its best to steal Christmas, that's for sure, but there is a little bit of a window, an opportunity to enjoy the festive season. Let's take a look first of all at this evening's weather photo. It's a bit of a rain bomb going on here. It's swept across Scone. It's a fantastic shot from Paul Bateman. Now today we've seen more storms, more showers fire up right across New South Wales and into Queensland. Very active around the nation yet again. Now tomorrow, Christmas Eve, we've still got that onshore influence, the humidity, the cloud cover, and some wet weather, some showers about isolated, and again a slight risk of a storm cell. The real instability is moving to northern New South Wales and Queensland. There's all that wet weather as a path through during today, but more tracking in across the upper Hunter. Temperatures, very small temperature swings, warm, humid nights and warm, overcast, humid days, and more of the same again tomorrow. It's going to be cloud affected, warm night, little bit of drizzle, isolated shower here and there, and a slight risk of a storm. Mostly for the lower Hunter. We should see fine conditions, hopefully, for most of the day throughout the upper Hunter, but I think there is a bit of a storm threat that will linger there too. A little bit of swell, small conditions continuing, about a metre. Tomorrow morning there's an early low tide just before 6, so we are back to the high just after 12:20. Sun's rise 5:42, down at 8:03. Not much moon about. Look at Christmas Day, though. There is our window of opportunity because look at the rain. Looks like it is going to rip back
wow.
Boxing Day for
That's going to be
Newcastle.
good.
Heavier conditions right across the northern New South Wales coast, though. If
Amazing.
you're holidaying to the north, the upper Hunter, a little bit of wet weather. Showers also for Boxing Day onwards, so a little bit wet until
Incredible.
the New Year. But the Central Coast, you have a fabulous looking Christmas Day. Let's take a look at the surf conditions for another day. It was pretty ordinary. It was somewhat onshore, small waves, but at least sea surface temperatures are nice and warm at the moment. And that's NBN News for this Thursday. Enjoy your evening. Good night.